This is Ruvain Spolter of Kitah, sharing with you a thought about Parshat Vayishlach, which is really the parasha where Yaakov re-meets with Eisav, his brother, after many years apart. And the sages look at it as the interaction between the representative of the Jewish people, Yaakov Avinu, our forefather, and the representative of the non-Jewish people, Eisav, represented the idea in Chazal, in the idea of Chazal, of Edom, of Rome, of Christianity. And therefore, the meeting between Yaakov and Eisav came to represent symbolically a much larger issue of our interaction with non-Jews in the world. And this is something that I think that concerns all of us. How do we teach our children to talk about or to think about our relationship with the nations around us? Is it an adversarial relationship? Is it a partner relationship? Sometimes a little of both. It's something that we see, that ambiguity we see straight out of the text of the Chumash, which I'm going to show you right now. So in our parasha, we're reading from Breshit, Perek Lamed Gimel, chapter 33, Pasuk Zayin. And this is how we do our Kitah lessons with our students as well. We read the text inside and then we read a commentary. So at the meeting itself, Eisav came with his 400 men and Yaakov is afraid. He's worried. Says the Torah, Vayaratz Eisav likrato vayichabkehu. Eisav ran towards him, likrato, towards Yaakov, vayichabkehu, and he hugged him. Vayipol al tzavarav, and he fell on his neck, vayishakehu, and he kissed him, vayivku. Sounds great. Doesn't it sound wonderful? Eisav ran up to him, and he hugged his brother, and they fell down there on each other's necks, and he kissed him, and they cried. But if you notice, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so you see it a little better. See over here on the word Vayishakehu. I just copied this straight out of Sefaria. And you can see Vayishakehu, there are these dots over the word. And that's not a mistake. Here I brought you, this is from a Tikkun Korim. Exactly like it looks in a Tikkun, when you do your laning, when you practice your laning from a Tikkun, for your Bar Mitzvah or in general, right? So we see the Pasuk, it says exactly the same Pasuk. You start Vayaratz, Eisav likrato vayichabkehu, Vayipol al tzavaro, vayishakehu. And he kissed him. And see the little tiny dots? Over each letter, there's a dot. This is part of an ancient tradition that the sages had of how to write a Sefer Torah. These dots have been there forever. In fact, they've been there since the time of the Midrash. What are these dots doing? What do they tell us about this kiss that Eisav gave Yaakov? So the answer, there are many answers. There's a very famous commentary of Rashi that you should look up. That's connected to our Midrash on Lamed Gimel Zayin. But we'll make it a little bit smaller and we'll read the answer of the Midrash. So the Midrash says as follows. Vayaretz Eisav likrato vayishakehu. It says nakod alav. There's nikudot, there's dots. What are the dots for? Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Now I'm going to paraphrase. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, listen, you got to count the dots. Are there more dots than letters? More letters than dots, but here they're even. You just count it up. There's a dot over each letter. So what does that tell you? Ella melamed, it teaches us, shenichmeru rachamav, his compassion overcame him. He had 400 men, he wanted to kill him. No, his compassion overcame him, but otasha at that time, uneshako b'chol libo. He kissed him with all his heart. Eisav decided, I love my brother. I want to be together with my brother. Amarlo Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai said to Rabbi Shimon ben Lazar, what? Imken, lama nakudalav. If he just kissed him, then these dots wouldn't be there at all. You would just have a kiss. Rather, melamed shalom ba linashko, ela linashcho. He didn't come to kiss him. He wanted to bite him. And he tried to bite him. V'nasat tzavaro shel Avinu Yaakov shel shayich. Yaakov's neck turned into marble. V'kahu shinav shel oto rasha. And his teeth became blunted. Hakeh et shinav. You might recognize that term from the Rasha in the night of Leil HaSeder. But Eisav, why does it say that he kissed him? He didn't kiss him. He tried to bite him. So we're being nice and saying that it's as if he kissed him. But the dots are, maybe those are his teeth. He tried to bite him. So this tells us, very interesting, the Torah tells us that Eisav kissed Yaakov. But the sages said, one second, there's a tradition, there are dots, and that tells us something. What does that tell us? I think it tells us that the relationship between Yaakov, the Jewish people, and Eisav, and the non-Jewish world around them, is ambiguous. Sometimes the kiss is really a kiss. Sometimes the kiss is really a bite. Sometimes the bite is a bite. And the answer is not always one-sided. There's not always one straight answer. Sometimes it seems like a kiss and it's a bite. Sometimes we're not sure. And I think that we as the Jewish people, especially today, we have to teach our children to be wary. There is anti-Semitism in the world, but at the same time, not to see everything as evil. That sometimes Eisav, his compassion is there for us. And there are members of the non-Jewish world that love the Jewish people. And we should see a kiss for what it is, as just a kiss. Thank you for listening, and have a Shabbat Shalom. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about what Kitah is, how we teach, and our Kitah for Home program for children who are not learning in Jewish day school, just check us out at kitah.org/home+. Make it a great day.